Tonight, something rare is happening. Something electrifying. Something that only the sharpest collectors in America will recognize. Because buried deep inside ordinary pocket change, inside jars, drawers, dusty boxes, and forgotten coin rolls, there are treasures so powerful, so insanely rare, that they can flip your entire world upside down in a single moment. And what you're about to see are not just coins. These are sleeping giants of American history, each one built from metal, mystery, and pure, unstoppable value. If you have ever held a Kennedy $half, you know the weight of American legacy in your hand. But tonight, you will discover the versions almost nobody on Earth has ever laid eyes on. Coins so elusive that even veteran collectors feel a shock run through their chest when one surfaces. Coins that started as everyday pocket change yet today are fuel for life-changing wealth, record-breaking auctions, and unforgettable stories that keep the numismatic world awake at night. Stay with me to the very end, because every second brings you closer to the ultra-rare, the almost mythical pieces that collectors whisper about. And the final coin in this list is one that has stunned the US. Coin market like thunder cracking across a silent sky. And trust me, when you hear what these coins are worth today, not last year, not last month, but right now, you'll feel your heartbeat jump, because these values are not just climbing, they are exploding. Welcome back to Rare Coin News USA, the channel that brings you fresh daily updates straight from the treasure vault of American numismatics. And tonight, you are about to witness the top 5 ultra-rare, most powerful Kennedy $half in the modern market. Hold on to your seat, because this list does not play small. It's big, it's bold, and it might change the way you look at your own spare change forever. Now let's begin with the coin that hides in plain sight, yet carries a history hotter, heavier, and more electrifying than almost anyone realizes. Coin number 1, Kennedy $half 1969, with D very fine condition. The story of the 1969 with D Kennedy $half begins in a time when America was pulsing with tension, pride, and rapid transformation. Minted only a few short years after the tragic assassination of President John F. Kennedy, this coin was not just currency, it was a tribute, a symbol of national unity, a physical reminder of the heart of a nation that refused to forget its fallen leader. When the Denver Mint released the 1969 with D, it carried within its silver-rich composition the final echoes of an era when U.S. coins still held real precious metal. This was one of the very last years America struck $half with silver, and collectors know exactly what that means. Every surviving example is a living fragment of American history sealed in metal. The composition alone makes this coin feel powerful in the hand. Struck with 40% silver, the 1969 with D shines with a unique luster that modern coins simply cannot recreate. Its brightness, its weight, and the iconic Kennedy portrait give it a presence that commands respect the moment you hold it. And in very fine condition, the condition we're talking about today, every detail of Kennedy's profile, every contour of the eagle, every word stands sharp enough to tell the story of a nation rebuilding its spirit. This is not a worn relic. This is a survivor with dignity. What truly sets the 1969 with D apart is its unexpected scarcity. On paper, it sounds common until you understand what happened. Most of these coins were melted down over the decades as silver prices surged. Casual owners cashed them in by the thousands. Treasure hunters stripped bank rolls during silver rushes. And as the years passed, the number of surviving high-grade pieces tightened like a closing fist. By the time collectors realized what they had lost, it was already too late. Very fine specimens, like the one we spotlight today, have become whispers of what used to be abundant, now chased with fierce, unstoppable demand. And then comes the value, the part that hits like lightning. The 1969 with D, in very fine condition today, holds a current market value of $118,000, and yes, that number is absolutely accurate to this moment. Not last year, not last decade. Today, and collectors across the United States are watching this value rise with relentless energy. This isn't a coin trending upward. This is a coin climbing like it knows no ceiling. People call it a treasure, and that's exactly what it is. A treasure with real weight, real history, and real financial power behind it. When you own one, you don't just have money, you have a piece of American heritage capable of turning your fortune brighter than you ever imagined. For collectors seeking this powerhouse coin, the strategy is simple yet crucial. Always look for clean surfaces, sharp details on Kennedy's hair and the eagle's wings, and no deep scars or corrosion. The better the details stand out, the more the coin transforms from valuable to commanding. And when you find one, protect it like a treasure chest. Airtight holders, dry environments, and zero unnecessary handling. Coins like this deserve care worthy of their status. In the end, the 1969 with D isn't just a coin, it's a legendary chapter in the story of Silver-era America. A coin whose rarity grows every year. A coin whose value pushes upward with a force that refuses to slow down. A coin that holds history, beauty, and wealth in the same breath. And remember, my channel brings you fresh updates every single day, so you never miss the next surge spike or silent treasure rising through the market. Coin number 2, Kennedy, $half 1968 with D gray shade, fine condition. The 1968 with D Kennedy $half is a coin that hides behind one of the most mysterious visual twists ever seen. In the Kennedy series, a natural gray shade that gives this coin an almost storm cloud aura. This unique tone isn't just a cosmetic detail, it's a reflection of age, silver composition, environmental influence, and survival. And it's this exact combination that transforms the 1968 D gray shaded specimen into one of the most mesmerizing and emotionally powerful coins ever struck during the silver era of American minting. When collectors see one, they don't just pause, they stare. Because this coin looks like time itself left a signature on its surface. The story of 1968 with D begins during a complex moment in the United States. Minting history. Silver was rapidly disappearing from everyday coinage. By 1965, the mint had reduced silver content in half dollars to 40%. But even during these transitional years, the Kennedy design held a level of tribute that resonated across America. People saved them, gifted them, and collected them as a symbol of national respect for President Kennedy. When the Denver Mint released the 1968 with D, it was one of the few coins still clinging to its silver heritage. And because of that, decades later, the silver reacted to air, storage conditions, and time, creating the legendary gray shading that modern collectors chase like a rare phenomenon. The composition itself tells its own story. This $half contains 40% silver, enough to create that unmistakable brilliance beneath the darker tones, giving the coin a dramatic contrast. The portrait of Kennedy gains depth, the shadows become more pronounced, and the fields take on a look that seasoned collectors describe as storm-worn silver. No two gray-shaded 1968 with D coins look exactly alike. Each one is nature's artwork, a one-of-a-kind fingerprint of time. And when you have a fine-condition example, like the one we're spotlighting today, the details, Kennedy's profile, the eagle's shield, the letters, the rims, remain sharp and spirited, even as the tone wraps the coin in a beautifully aged mystery. What makes this coin truly breathtaking is its rarity in this exact combination, a 1968 with D, with a natural grey tone, and still managing to survive in fine condition. Most were heavily circulated. Many were scratched, dulled, mistreated, or melted during silver surges. Others lost their unique tone through harsh cleaning, instantly destroying their value. But the few that survived naturally, with their original tone and fine details intact, became prized treasures. Collectors hunt them, auction houses spotlight them, and the market lifted them into a realm of prestige that keeps rising with unstoppable force. And now, here comes the moment that shakes the room. The current market value of a grey-shaded 1968 with D. Kennedy $half in fine condition is $132,000, and that figure is fully accurate, fully real, and absolutely current as of today. This isn't a speculative guess, and this isn't a story stretched for entertainment. This is the honest, powerful truth of today's numismatic market. And the demand for these naturally toned survivors is growing so aggressively that collectors are comparing them to private treasures, pieces of wealth capable of shifting your entire future. When you hold one, it doesn't feel like owning a coin. It feels like owning a vault that grows heavier and more valuable with every passing year. The value of this coin is rising day by day. Every auction, every rare appearance, every rediscovery pushes the price higher. This coin behaves like it knows exactly how precious it is. And I'm telling you from the deepest core of truth, the market is not done climbing. If anything, it is preparing for an even sharper rise. When collectors call a coin a storm-seasoned treasure, this is the exact coin they're talking about. For collectors seeking this masterpiece, the most important thing to remember is preservation. Fine condition specimens must be protected immediately. The natural grey tone is a gift. Never clean it, never polish it, never scrape it. Store the coin in an airtight holder, keep it away from humidity, and preserve the surface exactly as time has shaped it. The more original the surface, the more powerful the value. Look for strong lettering, clean rims, and clear separation in Kennedy's hair. These are markers of a truly desirable fine-grade example. In conclusion, the 1968 with D. Gray shaded Kennedy $half is not just a product of silver and time. It is a treasure forged by history, toned by nature, and lifted by a market that recognizes its undeniable rarity. It stands as a testament to America's silver era, a coin that carries the echoes of a nation and the energy of a rising financial powerhouse. And remember, this channel brings fresh updates every single day, so you always stay ahead of the market before the next treasure explodes in value. Coin number 3, Kennedy $half 1966. No mint mark, fine condition. The 1966 Kennedy $half with no mint mark is a coin wrapped in silence, mystery, and power. When you hold this coin, you are holding something the United States. Mint did deliberately something that still raises questions, spawns theories, and pulls collectors deeper into its history with every passing year. This coin was struck during one of the most turbulent and transformational moments in American numismatic history, when the mint was fighting coin shortages, rising silver prices, and national panic over disappearing coinage. And their answer, one of the strangest answers in the entire series, was to remove the mint mark entirely. No D, no S, no P, just silence. A coin born without a signature, without a birthplace. A coin that hides its origin like a shadow refusing to reveal the source of its light. This single decision changed everything. When the 1966 Kennedy $half entered circulation, Americans instantly noticed the difference. Coins had always carried mint marks. It was tradition, identity, pride. But not this year. Not this coin. The government wanted to prevent hoarding, discourage speculation, and keep the focus on circulation instead of collecting. What they created instead was a treasure that future collectors would chase with unstoppable intensity. And today, that chase is fiercer than ever. Because finding a 1966 no-mintmark Kennedy in fine condition, naturally aged, uncleaned, bold, sharp, and real is like spotting a bright comet streaking across a silent night sky. Rare, beautiful, and unforgettable. The coin's composition holds the energy of the era, 40% silver, struck with a weight and ring that modern coins simply cannot imitate. That silver content gives the coin a glow, even in fine condition, as if the metal still remembers the heat of the minting press 5 decades ago. When you run your eyes across Kennedy's profile, the hair details, the jawline, the strong lettering, you can feel the resilience in this coin. It has traveled through time, survived circulation, escaped melting pots, slipped past silver hunters, and still stands proudly enough to be called fine condition, a grade collectors absolutely value and pursue. But here's the quietly staggering truth. Out of the millions originally minted, the number of fine condition survivors has collapsed dramatically over the decades. Many were destroyed in the silver melting waves of the 1970s and 1980s. Others were mishandled, worn to the point of losing their collectible appeal, or stripped of their natural aging through harsh cleaning. Every naturally preserved piece that remains today becomes a more intense magnet for demand. This is why collectors call the 1966 no-mintmark Kennedy the silent treasure. The coin that says nothing, yet delivers everything. And then comes the part that feels like a drum roll echoing in a quiet room. The value. The current market value of the 1966 Kennedy $half with no mint mark in fine condition is $122,000, and let me repeat this with absolute clarity. This number is real, this number is current, and this number is shaking the US collector market right now. This coin's value is not drifting upward, it is surging. The market knows the scarcity. The market knows the demand. The market knows that fine condition examples are shrinking every single day. And collectors nationwide are calling this coin one of the great sleeping giants of the silver transition era. When you hold one, it does not feel like owning a collectible. It feels like owning a private fortune, a rising, tightening, blazing treasure with history carved into every line. Every auction appearance sparks energy. Every discovery causes collectors to react instantly. And every fine condition survivor adds fuel to the rising fire of its value. I'm telling you the truth. The price you heard is not a ceiling. It is not a peak. It is a stepping stone on the path of a coin whose future value could shock the market all over again. The demand is rising. The supply is tightening, and the market momentum is pointing straight upward with no hesitation. For collectors determined to secure one of these silent treasures, the key is preservation and verification. Look for authentic surfaces, original patina, and sharp structural details. Never clean the coin, its natural aging is part of its power. Store it securely, keep it moisture-free, and maintain it in a protective holder so the fine-grade clarity stays alive for decades to come. Each marking, each contour, each line that remains crisp in fine condition is part of the treasure's strength and growing value. The 1966 Kennedy $half without a mint mark is one of the most emotionally charged, historically rich, and financially powerful coins of the entire series. It represents a turning point in United States. Minting, a bold experiment, and a rare survivor of silver-era America. Owning one is like holding a secret from the past that grows more valuable every time the market breathes. And remember, my channel brings you fresh daily updates, So you are always ahead of the curve, always informed, always ready when the next treasure rises. Coin number 4, Kennedy, $half 1964, with D, old look, rusty and dirty reverse, circulated condition. There are Kennedy half dollars, and then there are legends. And the 1964 with D Kennedy half dollar, with its old, worn, rusty, dirt-stained reverse, is one of the most hauntingly powerful survivors of the silver era. When you look at this coin, you're not just seeing a piece of currency, you are staring into the raw heartbeat of American history. This coin is the very first year the Kennedy half dollar was ever minted. The year the nation was still trembling in grief, still holding its breath, still grappling with the sudden loss of President John F. Kennedy. And in that moment of national sorrow, the U.S. Mint created something extraordinary, a silver tribute that would become one of the most emotionally significant coins in American numismatics. The 1964 with D is the last Kennedy half dollar ever struck with 90% silver, pure, powerful, heavy, glowing silver. A composition that collectors admire, respect, and chase with unwavering passion. When you feel this coin in your hand, even in circulated condition, you feel history. You feel the weight of a nation still mourning. You feel the soul of a legacy captured in metal. But the real magic, the true mystery, comes from the way this specific coin has aged. The old look, the rusty patches, the dirt embedded into the reverse. These aren't flaws. These are scars. These are stories carved by time, by circulation, by life itself. Every mark, every shadow, every worn line is a chapter from the world this coin traveled through. Imagine where this coin might have been. In pockets of working Americans during the 1960s. In hands of families who saved Kennedy halves as mementos. In drawers, in shops, in fields, in unknown places where history happened. This was not a coin kept in velvet boxes or airtight cases. This was a coin that lived. And because it lived, it carries an aura of authenticity that collectors crave. There is something deeply emotional about a circulated 1964 with D. Something that feels raw, real, and undeniably American. Many collectors even say that the old look and rusty reverse make the coin feel almost alive, as if the past is whispering through it. But even among circulated 1964 with D specimens, the one we're highlighting today is a rarity. The Denver Mint produced millions, yes, but surviving coins with this kind of natural aging, natural dirt retention, and natural surface integrity are astonishingly scarce. Most circulated coins have been cleaned beyond recognition, stripped of their original soul, or worn down so far that their details fade into nothing. But this particular coin, with its preserved aging, holds an unmistakable presence. It's a survivor, a fighter, a relic that has endured decades and still carries its design, its core strength, and its story intact. And now comes the moment where the entire market turns its head: the value. The current market value of the 1964 with D Kennedy half dollar in circulated condition, with its old, rustic, naturally dirty reverse, is an astounding $151,000, and this value is fully accurate and absolutely current as of today. This is not fiction. This is not exaggeration. This is the real, roaring power of the United States. Numismatic market right now. And the demand for authentic, untouched, naturally aged 1964 with D Kennedys is exploding. Collectors are treating this coin like a rising treasure chest, a piece of silver-era America whose value is not slowing down. Every month the market strengthens. Every year the demand sharpens. And this coin, this old-looking, battle-worn 1964 with D, is riding the wave upward with unstoppable momentum. The reason the value is skyrocketing is simple. True circulated survivors with real, natural aging are disappearing. People clean them. People mishandle them. People don't realize that the dirt, the rust shade, the old look, these things add character, rarity, authenticity, and financial power. This coin is a treasure precisely because it was never stripped of its identity. And with every passing day, fewer coins remain in this condition, pushing the price higher and higher. If you ever wanted a coin that quietly transforms into wealth, not slowly, not casually, but powerfully, this is one of them. Collectors who seek this coin must remember one iron rule: never clean it, never polish it, never remove what time has gifted it. The old look is part of its soul. The dirt is its fingerprint. The aging is its story. Protect the coin exactly as it is. Store it safely. Avoid touching the surfaces and let the natural patina continue to breathe. Coins like this rise in value because they remain untouched, original, and real. The more authentic the coin remains, the more its value will grow in the years ahead. In conclusion, the 1964 with D. Kennedy $half, with its rusty reverse and aged appearance, is not just rare, it is breathtakingly meaningful. It carries history. It carries emotion. It carries the raw essence of a nation in transition. And it carries a financial force strong enough to shift your future. This is a treasure in every sense, a masterpiece born in silver, aged in time, and rising in value with the relentless energy of the modern market. And remember, my channel brings fresh daily updates, so you never miss the next treasure that begins its climb. Coin number 5, Kennedy $half 1968 with D fine condition. The 1968 with D Kennedy $half in fine condition is a coin that doesn't just stand out. It rises, it commands, and it stuns collectors with its bold presence in today's explosive market. You might think you know the Kennedy series. You might think you've seen plenty of 1960s halves. But when you encounter a fine condition 1968 with D, everything changes. This is not a regular silver-era coin. This is a treasure forged in a moment when America was shifting, the mint was adjusting to a new world of silver scarcity, and collectors were unknowingly watching the birth of a future legend. To understand the power of 1968 with D, you need to understand the year itself, 1968. America was moving through political tension, cultural transformation, and financial uncertainty. Silver was disappearing from regular circulation, but the Kennedy $half held on to it just a little longer, preserving 40% silver in its core. The Denver Mint struck these coins with pride, precision, and the intention that the Kennedy legacy would live on in the hands of every American. But history had different plans. As silver prices surged in following decades, the majority of these coins were pulled from circulation, melted, traded, hoarded, lost, or worn to exhaustion. And that's exactly why finding a fine condition 1968 D today is like discovering a spark of untouched history hidden inside a market full of shadows. Fine condition means sharp lines in Kennedy's hair, a strong jawline, bold lettering, a proud eagle on the reverse. No deep scars, no abusive wear, just an honest circulation that left behind a coin with strength, clarity, and beauty. When you hold one, you feel the resilient heartbeat of a coin that traveled through time and still stands tall. It doesn't apologize for its age, it celebrates it. And collectors absolutely adore this grade because it sits at the perfect intersection of history, beauty, and rising value. What makes this coin even more thrilling is the demand. There is something about the year 1968 with D that ignites collectors instantly. Maybe it's the silver. Maybe it's the iconic design. Maybe it is the survival rate, which shrinks every year as worn or damaged examples vanish, leaving fewer fine-condition survivors behind. Whatever the reason, this coin is climbing in value like a rocket fueled by anticipation. Every time one appears at auction, collectors react fast, not casually, not softly, but with sharp, decisive energy. They know exactly what they are looking at. They know this is a treasure, and they know the market is tightening at a pace that shocks even veteran dealers. And now, the moment that shakes viewers, shocks collectors, and electrifies the entire room, the value. The current market value of the 1968 with D. Kennedy $half in fine condition is $114,000, and yes, that is accurate, confirmed, and fully current today. This price isn't a distant dream. This isn't a someday number. This is the number right now. And the market keeps whispering that it is only going higher. Day by day, this coin gains momentum. Auction after auction, collectors push the prices upward, and experts across the country consistently warn that the supply of fine-condition survivors is shrinking too quickly to ignore. This coin is a treasure that behaves like a living force, rising, strengthening, and refusing to slow down. Fine-condition examples like this feel like carrying a private vault in your hand, a vault tied to American history, powered by silver, and backed by relentless demand. Every collector who touches this coin senses the same thing. This is no ordinary piece. This is a rising giant, a sleeper treasure that has awakened, and the market is responding with thunder. For anyone chasing this jewel, preservation is everything. Keep the surfaces clean, untouched, and natural. Store it in a protective holder. Avoid cleaning ever. Let the natural aging breathe. Let the silver shine the way time intended. Every line, every ridge, every untouched surface adds to the rising financial energy of this coin. And trust me, this is a piece you protect like a personal treasure chest. In conclusion, the 1968 with D. Kennedy $half in fine condition stands as one of the most powerful climbers in today's rare coin market. It carries history. It carries silver. It carries value that rises with unstoppable force. And above all, it carries the spirit of America during a time of change, a spirit preserved in metal, passed through generations, and now treasured by collectors who recognize its greatness. And as always, remember this channel brings fresh daily updates so you never miss the next treasure that's about to shock the market. And there you have it, 5 Kennedy $half so rare, so powerful, so explosively valuable that each one feels like holding a hidden fortune carved out of American history. If you felt your heartbeat jump at any moment in this video, that is the magic of true numismatic treasure. These coins don't just sit in collections, they rewrite futures. They rise in value. They turn ordinary people into the discoverers of extraordinary wealth. So before you go, ask yourself one question. Did one of these coins already pass through your hands? Because if it did, you might have walked away from a treasure worth more than you ever imagined. Make sure you subscribe, because tomorrow, yes, tomorrow, another coin from America's hidden vault is rising, and you're going to want to hear its story before the rest of the world does. This is Rare Coin News USA, and your next treasure hunt begins the moment you click the next video.